Hi, welcome everyone. So today's class we're going to be focusing on creating breath awareness and helping to increase the capacity for our breath by really just working into the side body to the back body and helping to create some space. So we'll come down just onto your back just to get started. So it'll also be about elongating the spine. So begin with by just having your feet about hip width distance apart, feel your feet on the ground, and then you're going to just push down into your feet, lift your hips just slightly up off the ground, and then lengthen your tailbone. So just visualizing the tailbone at the bottom of your spine and lengthening it toward your heels. And then just allowing the pelvis to just come down to the ground. Just feel the pelvis there. Notice if your lower back is right up against the ground, just seeing if you can create the natural inward curve of your lower back, and then feel the back of your head, so the base of your skull on your mat with your chin just drawing slightly downwards, not tucking the chin in, but just creating that length through the cervical spine. So again, you've also got a natural inward curve of your cervical spine, your neck, and the lower back, your lumbar spine. Okay, so just begin by just coming into your breathing and just notice the natural rhythm of your breath. Not changing anything, just observing the breath as it comes into the body and as it leaves your body. And notice if it feels stuck in any places. Does it just flow smoothly in and out? Or do you find that you're experiencing some restrictions or resistance in the body, in the muscles associated with breathing? Just notice the quality of your breathing. So does it feel like it's traveling smoothly and evenly into the body, right down to the lower lobes of your lungs, so you're feeling that gentle expansion through the rib cage, through your abdomen? Or do you feel like it's just sitting at the top of your chest and maybe it's a little bit strained or a bit jagged, or even maybe a little bit uneven? Okay, let's just take another full cycle here. Releasing any tension in your jaw. Okay, and then just taking your hands together at your heart center. Just take a moment to set your intention for the practice. And then release your hands, and then take your legs up to up towards the ceiling, and your arms up as well. And just feel like you're plugging your arm bones back down to the ground. Allow the hips to be heavy. Feel the tone to your navel, and you're just looking for connectivity. Again, feel your spine long, so the base of your skull is on your mat. So notice if you're tipping your chin back. Just breathing here. Just observing the sensations in your body. And then bend your knees. You may like to just give your knees a hug. Just maybe gently rocking from side to side. Feel the tailbone lifting, that length through the back body. Then we're going to just keep your right foot on the ground. Take your hands around your left leg. And if it doesn't work with your hands, you can use a strap here. So just taking the strap around the back of your thigh. And you're going to just push your hamstrings, the back of your thigh, in towards your hands and start to lengthen your leg. So just observing the sensation through the back of the leg, but also what you're feeling as you lie here on your mat. So through the back body, and notice if there's areas that are contracting, getting tight. Okay, and then just release that. Now you're going to just give your left knee a hug in towards your chest. Again, just feeling the tailbone just gently lifting here. Just breathing into the pose. And then switch your legs over. So place your left leg down, take your hands or your strap behind your right leg, and then you start to push your thigh in towards your hands, and then start to lengthen your leg. The leg doesn't have to come all the way straight. But again, just notice what you're feeling here. You probably feel this all the way up to the neck, keeping the base of your skull on your mat. Again, soften your jaw. Notice if you're holding tension there. Just breathing. Feeling that gentle pressure of the thigh against the hands. And then bend your knee. And then you can take your hands around your shin and start to hug your knee, your thigh in towards your chest. Again, just stay connected with the feelings in the body. Notice that gentle lift of your tailbone. Again, then slowly start to release. Okay, now we're going to come into some arching and curls. So the arching curls is you're gently arching the lower back. So the lumbar spine lifts away from the ground. And then the curling is the navel drawing in towards the ground, feeling your spine lengthen. And your tailbone gently lifting up. And you'll feel this into the spine. So feeling the spine elongate, lengthen, and then you'll feel a gentle contraction through the back body. So you're giving that a bit of a squeeze. Okay, so just take your feet again about hip width distance apart, and you're walking your heels towards your buttocks, hands just onto your hip points as though you're just cupping your hip points. And this can also help just bring awareness to the pelvis as well. Okay, so find your neutral spine. So neutral spine is where the pelvis, the back of the pelvis is on the ground. There's natural inward curve of the lumbar and cervical spine. Your thoracic spine is sitting on the ground. Okay, and then just as you breathe in, you're going to slowly start to arch up. So begin with a small movement, so keeping the lower ribs on the ground, shoulders anchored to the ground, and just creating a little bit of an arch in the lower back. I'm not sure if you can see it because my microphone box is just sitting there. And then you're going to just slowly exhale, come back to neutral, and then feel your spine lengthen against the ground. So tailbone going towards your heels, so slightly lifting. Lower back drawing into the ground. And then again, just arching up. And then gently curling. And you can feel this gentle movement of the pelvis. So as you're curling, your spine against the ground, your pelvis is gently moving back into posterior tilt. And then as you breathe in and you're arching up, creating expansion through the body, your pelvis is gently moving forward into an anterior tilt. So you can just observe that as well. So let's just do another full round here. Small movement, and then we're going to start to increase the movement. Okay, so come back to a neutral position. This time take your hands one behind the other at the base of your skull. And again, you're going to just start off by arching up the lower back, but maybe starting to increase the movement. So you may start to feel the lower ribs drawing away from the ground and feel that contraction through the lower back. And then maybe starting to take your gaze behind you too. So you're also creating a bit more of an arch into the cervical spine. And then just slowly release that. And then you're going to gently curl up. So just exhale the breath, feeling now the contraction through the front of the body, length through the back. Give it a squeeze. And then slowly release. Just feel into the body, notice what you're feeling. And again, on your next inhale breath, we'll create an arch. So again, almost feel like it's rippling down or rippling up the spine. So from the tailbone all the way up towards the base of the skull. Maybe your gaze will come behind you if that feels okay for the neck. And then again, just release back to a neutral position. Just pause. Then as you breathe out, so exhale, you're going to slowly start to round up. So lifting your head up, keep the back of your head drawing in towards your hand. Again, feeling that contraction through the front, length through the back of the body. And again, just slowly release. We'll do it one more time. So just pause, and then on your breath in, creating that expansion through the front of the body, contracting through the back. And again, you can feel like it's a rippling all the way up, a gentle wave all the way up to the base of the skull. And then just release back to a neutral position. And then on your exhale breath, you're contracting. So navel draws in, slowly starting to peel up off the ground. Again, just breathing here, contracting through the front and lengthening through the back. And then slowly release back down. And you can just release your arms. Again, just feel into the body. Okay, now we're going to do it with leg lifts. So take your right leg long. Just have your leg just facing up towards the ceiling, but relaxing through the feet. Left foot will stay on the ground. Okay, now again we're going to create a gentle arch, so breathing in. As you exhale, feel that tone through the front, lengthen through the back, and you're going to slowly start to pick your leg up to no more than about the height of your knee, left knee. So give it a squeeze, holding here, and then gently release. Slowing back down. Notice as you lower your leg down if the pelvis starts to pull forward here. Seeing if you can keep it at more of a neutral position. We'll do that again. So again, breathing in, arching up. And then as you exhale, feel like you're zipping up, contracting, spine long on the ground, and the right leg slowly lifts. Okay, feel the base of your skull on your mat, hold here, and then gently release. Just pause for a moment, again just feeling into the body, and then switch your legs over. So left leg goes long, and again, rather than externally rotating, just allow the leg just to face up towards the ceiling. Okay, and again we'll move with the breath, so breathing in, and you're creating that gentle arch. And then as you exhale, navel draws in, feel your spine lengthen against the ground and slowly start to pick your left leg up. Observing what you're feeling, especially into the lower back area. Feeling that tone through the front. Again, slowly release. Hold your leg down, pause. Just connecting your brain with the movement. We'll do it one more time. So again, take a breath in. Create that gentle arch in the lower back. And then as you exhale, navel draws in, spine lengthens against the ground, and slowly pick your left leg up. And holding here, continue to breathe. And then slowly release back down. And bend your knee. Just pause for a couple of breaths. Okay, now we're going to roll over onto the right side. Roll all the way up and over. So have your arm long. Your head will rest just onto your arm. Then bring your knees up to about the height of your hip. And then bring your feet forward. So you should be able to just see the toes. Okay, then your left arm will come up and over onto the underside of your head. So your fingertips are just brushing your right ear. Okay, now you're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe in, really feel like you're breathing into the left side. So you may even feel the right underside of the waist just gently lifting away from the ground. So take a nice breath in, so it's an expansion again. Then as you exhale, you're going to slowly start to pick up your head, feeling the lower waist, the waist drawing down and towards the ground and squeezing all the way from the armpit down to the hip. So feeling that shorten. And then as you lower back down, feel it lengthen. Just pause, and then again as you exhale the breath, you're going to slowly start to curl up. Again, feel that contraction, that squeezing all the way through the sideways. You'll feel the right side of the waist against the ground. And then slowly release back down. Again, feel that lengthen. We're going to do it again. This time we're going to pick up the top foot. So take a breath in. And then as you exhale, again you're going to slowly lift the top foot, keep your knees together and curl up. So now you feel your hip drawing in towards your ribs, your armpit drawing down towards the hips, squeezing through that side waist. And then again as you lower back down, notice as it lengthens. Let's do it one more time. So take a breath in and again feel like you're breathing right into the left side waist. Maybe feeling the right side lifting, and then as you exhale, you're going to slowly curl up, knees stay together, lift your top foot up. Lift up towards the ceiling, again squeeze through the side body, and then slowly release back down. Again, pay attention to the length, the release of the contraction of the muscles, and then just pause for a couple of moments. And then we'll switch sides. Okay, so rolling all the way. Actually, we'll stay on the right side, and we're going to do just a bit of release for the upper back. So just taking your hands together, and I might come back onto the ground. You can use some support if you need it for your head, maybe just a small blanket or a towel. Okay, and start off with by, again, knees up to about hip height, feet forward. This will help you to find the balance. So the tailbone is about in line with the back of the head. Okay, and then you're going to reach your left fingers forward. And just feeling this right through the arm into the shoulder, right down towards the spine. And then sliding your hand, your top hand along the bottom hand, the arm, and you're just going to gently start to roll over. Your hand slides about up to your tricep, maybe to the armpit. Just feeling that gentle twist, and then sliding back. And slide your hand over the top, reaching a little bit more out towards the front of the room. And then again, sliding your top hand, your left hand, across the right arm. So you're coming into the gentle rotation. And we'll do that again. So reaching, sliding. Let's do it another 2 full rounds here. So reaching forward with those left fingers, and then sliding the hand all the way up and over the body. Oops, over the microphone. And again, reaching forward. You may like to go a little bit deeper each time you come into the pose. So again, last time, sliding your left arm over the right and maybe onto the chest as you rotate. And then sliding your hand all the way back. And then just reach. Join your hands together, just pause for a moment, and then we'll come up and over onto the left side. So if you're doing it, you can just roll straight over. I'll come right up and over. Okay, again, we start by extending out through the left arm and lying your head onto the arm. And so again, the arm is about in line with the torso all the way down towards the hip. Bring your knees up to about hip height, and then take your feet just forward so you can just see your toes. Top hand will come up and over on the underside of your head. Okay, so again, we start with the breath in. So as you breathe into the sides of body. You may feel it gently lift the underside lifting away from the ground. And then as you exhale, you're going to slowly start to curl up and give it a squeeze. So it's rib cage moving all the way down towards your hip, and again just release back down. Breathe in, again maybe gently lifting up, and then as you exhale, squeeze. As you lower back down, notice the length that you're creating through the side body. Just relax the body. Now again we do the movement, but this time we lift the top foot, the knees stay together. So again, take a nice deep breath into the side body. You may feel the underside just gently lifting away from the ground. And then as you exhale, curling up, top foot lifts, knees stay together. So now you're feeling your hip moving in towards the armpit, armpit moving down towards the hip. Okay, and again, just slowly release. Just pause for a moment, just relax the body. Notice the length through the side body. We'll do it one more time. So again, take a breath in. And as you exhale, curling up. Top foot lifts, keep the knees together. You're not pulling your head forward, so just note that you're not pulling your head forward or taking it back. You're lifting the head straight up. Keep the head heavy into your fingers. Squeeze it, contracting, feel that side waist, and then slowly lowering. Notice the length as you lower. Just pause for a moment. And then release your arms out in front. So again, you can have a little bit of support for your head if you need it, rather than just dropping the head all the way to the ground. Okay, so stack your hands on top of each other and then You're going to slide your top hand forward, so you're reaching. Again, feel this all the way through the arm, right into the shoulder blade, towards the spine, and then slide your hand across the bottom arm, all the way up towards the tricep. This may be enough for you for the first one, maybe up to the armpit, and then slide it all the way forward, reaching, and then again sliding the hand over the arm, right up towards the armpit, and then sliding forward. Maybe going a little bit deeper each time, so again, reach those fingers, and then sliding the hand, and just allow your head to go with this movement. So as you're rolling, you're rotating over, just allow the head to be just fluid here with moving with the body. Last one. So again, you reach and then sliding your top hand all the way over the arm, maybe to the chest, rotate, and then sliding it all the way back. And then just joining your hands back together. Just take a few breaths here. Okay. And then come onto your back. Now we're going to rotate, twist it a little bit more down the spine. So keep your feet together, knees together. Arms will be out to a T. And I don't have much room for this one. So hopefully you can see me still. Okay, so you're going to turn your right palm to face up, left palm to face down. Okay, and you want to rotate the arm, so you're feeling the rotation all the way into the shoulder as you do this on both sides. Okay, and then wherever your palm is face up is where your head will go. Just be mindful of the neck as it turns. Okay, and then you're going to just slowly start to switch. So your right palm will start to face down, drawing your thumb down and towards the ground. It's an internal rotation. So just notice what you're feeling here, and your left palm will go face up. Okay, and then gently turn your head to the left. And we'll do that again. So rotating, turning your head to the right palm. Again, allow the movement to work all the way into the shoulder. And then right palm to face down, gently turn your head to the left and left palm face up. Okay, this time we're going to bring the knees into the movement. So working our way down the spine. So again, rotate your right palm face up, head to the right. Now you're going to take your knees to the left. And then come back through center, switching your hands over. And then take your head to the left, knees to the right. And we'll do it again. So again, come back through center, right palm face up, head to the right, and knees to the left. And one more time. So again, head and knees to center, and then switching. So left palm face up, head to the left. And then just make your way back to center, releasing your arms. You may like to just give your knees a hug. And then just place your feet on the ground. Just take a few moments just to notice what you're feeling in the body, all the way down the spine. And then make your way up to a seated position. So hands underneath your sacrum, down towards your buttocks. Legs go long, push your hands and forearms into the ground, and then lift all the way up to sitting. Just come to a comfortable seated position. Okay, I'll just tie my hair back up. Okay, so we're going to just take your hands onto your lap. So you can sit up on a blanket, it's quite nice, or a towel, and cross a leg position, or even onto your shins. Okay, and then we're going to start to hunch the shoulders up towards your ears, and then gently round them forward, tucking your chin in, rounding into the back, and then just slowly release, sitting up tall, allow your shoulders to soften away. And then you're going to turn your palms to face up, and then gently just draw your elbows back. So feel your shoulder blades drawing down and back. Give them a squeeze here, holding in the pose. And then slowly release. And again, take your hands onto your lap, hunching your shoulders up and rounding. So again, tucking the chin in. And then bring your head back up. Relax your shoulders, and then turn your palms to face up, and then draw your thumbs, your elbows back. Again, feel your shoulder blades drawing down and back, squeezing, holding here. So again, you're noticing that contraction, and then just slowly release and just give your shoulders a little bit of a shake out. Okay, then come into a child's pose position. So just taking your hips towards your heels. You can have your feet out a little bit wider if you need to. And then just walking your hands over towards the right side. So just keeping your gaze down towards the ground. Just feel that length through the left side of your body. All the way towards your hip crease. And then walking your hands back. And then over towards the left side. So just pushing your hands down into the ground again. Keep your gaze just in between your arms, hips drawing towards your heels. Just bringing length to the side waist, and then come back to center. And from here, you're just going to push up into a tabletop position, just working through some flexion and extension of the spine. So you're going to just allow the spine to move like away from the tailbone, so just gently lowering your belly down. Chest, and then reaching your sternum forward, maybe lifting your gaze, so moving all the way to the tailbone, to the base of your skull, and then taking your gaze down, rounding into the upper back, middle back, lower back. Just notice that pelvis gently tilting back, navel draws in, and then again just allow the spine to ripple all the way forward, and then rounding all the way up. Let's just do another 2 full rounds here. Last one. Feeling that extension all the way through the front of the body. And then that contraction through the front as you round up into the back body. And then just come back to a neutral position, keeping some tone to your navel and stabilizing through your shoulders. Just going to work on just stabilizing through your center. When you're ready, you're going to take your right arm and left leg out away from you. So extending the limbs, tone through your center. Keep the gaze down. Feel like you're lengthening your spine. And then switch your hands. So lower your knee and your arm, and then reaching out through the opposite. Again, just breathing here, stabilize. You're looking for that connectivity. And again, lower your hand, lower your knee. And then reaching, opposite arm to opposite leg. And lower. One more time. So extend. And then release. And then you can take your hips towards your heels. And again, maybe coming into your child's pose with your arms alongside you. Just breathing here. And then rising up. Now we're going to just come to a kneeling position. And take your left leg out to the left. You want to feel like you're zipping up here. So zip up from pubic bone towards your navel. So you're allowing, rather than the pelvis drawing back, bringing the pelvis forward. Just creating that space, that openness through the front body. Okay, now we're going to just move into some lateral flexion. So if you do need a block, you can use that to place your hand on. So just be mindful that that could be an option. Otherwise, you're going to just lift up. You can slide your right hand down your leg, or you can place it onto that block, pushing down and out through the outer edge of your left foot. And then we're going to lift up, switch your hands over. So your left arm just comes in front of your body, reaching up through the right arm. And we're going to turn the left foot so your toes are lifting up towards the ceiling. And then flexing over towards the left leg. And then come back through center. And again, we'll switch the leg. So toes face forward, either sliding your hand down your leg or place it onto something to stabilize you. And then again, reaching your arm up. Again, we're going to switch the foot. So come onto your heel, toes draw up towards the ceiling. Okay, and let's do it one more time. And again, taking your arm up and over. If you do need to, you can place your left hand onto your left thigh. Okay, and then just release. Switch your legs over. So right leg out to the right, toes facing towards the long side of your mat, and then zip up. And then again, we come over to the left side, so you can slide your hand down your thigh, reach up through the right arm, take it up and over, or you can take your hand onto the block, or another option is to have your hand onto the ground. Again, then switch. So turn your leg, so toes face out, and then you can lift your foot up. And come over to the right leg. And let's take it up and over. Oops. So reaching through those top fingers. And then again, come up and over to the right leg. We'll do it one more time. So toes face out towards the long side of your mat, creating that lateral flexion. And then again, turn your foot, toes lift up, and again, you can have your right hand onto your front thigh, onto your right thigh, reaching up, and then release. And just shake out through those shoulders. Okay, let's come down to a seated position. So you may like to sit up on a blanket or a towel. I like to sit up higher and then bringing the pelvis slightly forward. So if you're just sitting on the ground, quite often you'll round into the lower back. So just notice if you're doing that. Once you sit up on the blanket, you'll bring your pelvis slightly forward, and that just helps to get a slight tilt, and then you'll find more length through the lower back. So take your right leg in towards your chest. And towards your groin. That would be into the chest. Okay, and then we're going to rotate towards the left leg. Okay, so just lengthen your spine. You want to have your left knee pointing up towards the ceiling, toes pointing up without flexing them towards you or pointing your toes away from you. Just allow the left leg to get heavy though. Okay, so just take a breath in, lift up, and then you're going to just start to walk your hands forward. And you want to take it to a place where you're just starting to feel it down through the outside of the right lower back. So it's probably not coming in too deep into the pose. If this is uncomfortable for your right knee, just extend the leg out. Okay, walk your hands back, lifting your chest up, and let's switch sides. So extend out through the right leg, bring your left heel in towards your thigh, and then again, rotate the torso so you're facing towards your right leg, right knee and toes, facing up towards the ceiling, but just relax the right foot. And again, just lift up and lengthen. And then as you exhale, you would just start to walk forward. And it's not a big movement. You wanted to come into the pose where you're just starting to feel it down through that left side. And just breathing here. Okay, and then walk your hands back. Come back up to a upright position. And then you're going to take either a block or a towel, or a blanket is an option, and you can have it so it's sitting up fairly high, about the same height as a block would be. And then you just come down onto your back. May be a little bit more stable with the block, but just see how you go with the towel. So you don't want to go too high, and then you're going to take it so it sits underneath your buttocks. Okay, so you don't want it to sit under the lower back or even on the tailbone. So what you're wanting to do is sit on the buttocks and then allow your pelvis to gently tilt towards the ground. And as you do that, you'll start to feel your lower back just start to lengthen. You can just take your arms alongside you. Feel again the base of your skull on your mat. And just breathing here and just notice that length through the spine. This is a great pose for the lower back. So you're feeling it, the pelvis tilting just slightly back. Just holding here. This is a yummy pose to stay in for a few minutes if you have the time. If there is pain in your lower back, just come out of the pose. You want to stay away from the pain. Stay in your own comfort level. Okay, and then you're going to just push down into your feet, lift your hips up and just remove your blanket or your block. Okay, now let's take the feet together. You'll take your arms out to a T and you're going to slowly lower your knees down towards the right side as you sweep your left arm out to a T, maybe up towards a diagonal and maybe turning your head to the left. And then bring your knees back to center and then you're switching. So your knees go to the left as you sweep your right arm out to the side, maybe up towards the back of the room and turning your head to the right. And then again, just come back through center, just switching your arms over, knees over. And we'll do it one more time. Okay, come back through center. And you may like to just give your knees a hug, maybe gently rock from side to side. And then just making your way into a happy baby. So take your knees out wide. You can have the soles of your feet together or soles of your feet up towards the ceiling. And just feel your tailbone lengthen here. Just breathing. You can feel the base of your skull on your mat. And then release your legs. Just make your way into either constructive rest pose with your knees bent, feet on the ground, lengthen your tailbone long. Or you can come into your Shavasana, but as you come into your Shavasana, notice if your pelvis starts to pull forward and you're creating the arch up into your lower back. If that's the case, you're putting pressure on your lower back, then just keep your knees bent here. Just take a few moments just to allow all the poses just to absorb into the body. And stay here for as long as you choose. When you're ready, start to make your way up to a seated position. And take your hands together at your heart center. Remember your intention for the day. And welcome the day with a smile on your lips, love in your heart and gratitude in your spirit. Namaste.